What's up, everybody? Little Big Robot's back for another video. This time I'm going to be showing you this little version of a big robot. This is our custom astromech droid, which is, let me move all this out of the way, which is if you've gone to Disney and then gone into the Star Wars area, you can build one of these. They've been out for a while. And so you've probably seen one, you might own one, and they're very, very cool. They come with some different parts. While I'm showing this, I'll probably show a little bit about what she looked like before all this. And I'm having to film this handheld today because it's so large I couldn't just set it there. I have to kind of just hold it, and I want to show some details. So I'll be showing you some different variations or some video, some film or whatever, pictures of what she looked like before. What basically you do, in case you don't know, is you go into the Star Wars experience, I guess, area of Disney World, Disneyland. We went to Disneyland in California. And you buy these. They're about 120 bucks. So they're not cheap, but they are a really, really cool collectible, a collectible that you can mess with and whatever. But you typically get the droid, you pick out the dome, you pick out the body, the legs, the center leg, and then which color of these accents you want. So my wife wanted to pick it out and build it.
You wanted the black body.
I want a black
body. What color legs? Black and white legs?
White legs.
It's like a mini game. You gotta catch it before it goes away. Legs, nose, or what are those? Black and
black body and white legs.
Okay, so now legs.
And we get front legs, right?
Yeah, purple head's cool. Oh yeah, those are all look good.
Do I just press down? Or...
Yes.
Yeah, a fine looking droid.
Yep. Oh.
He's so cute. Parrot. Press that red button for me. Let's pull everything out of that basket over here.
Oh, look at that.
So she picked out the purple and silver dome, not clear. There is a clear, there's black, there's the classic blue and silver. She picked out a black body, white legs, and a black middle leg. So it's really different looking. I like how she, and by the way, this is a she. We've decided to call her a she. I like how she accented, chose these different accents. What's interesting about it is you can pull all these apart and give that kind of exploded R2 view, when he gets excited or he gets upset or whatever. But as you can see, you still have some leftover parts here. These were the black accents, and then they had the white right there. So these are some extra parts. You can, while you're there, you can buy all sorts of accessories. One of the really cool accessories, and I'll see if I can show a picture of it right here, of this was the fairy droid accent, which is basically a set of arms and legs, I believe from The Mandalorian. My wife remembered it right away. She's like, oh, that's from The Mandalorian or whatever, where he sacrifices himself, I think it was, in the swamp or whatever it is, in the boat. And so you get all these really, really cool parts. They're not cheap, but we just decided to do a basic droid. We didn't want to do a lightsaber. It was too long, and it's a little too expensive for something that we probably wouldn't display that much. We'd display this a lot more and play with it because, I'm a toy guy. But one of the things I want to point out is if you're looking at the before pictures, if you saw them or whatever, all these little details you can see here, basically you can't see in the normal black or white bodies. You can see how with just the white leg, you don't get a chance to see a lot of these details. So what I wanted to do to her at least was dry brush her with a little, I was going to do scratches, but I was just like, just dry brush it, a little silver, to represent paint, you know, being worn off by the fine sands of tattooing or whatever. And then a little bit of a wash, panel lining. Now, as you can see, some of these panel lines and stuff are quite messy. What's really funny about panel lining is as you do it, as you add panel lining or as you add just like a wash or whatever, you'll get to where you go, oh man, I don't really like it. You see some little bit of a mistake here. You start to go, oh, it's dripping. I got to clean that off and stuff, and you know, I got to make that look better. And I got smudges on here and stuff. But then you realize you're talking about dirt. This happens every time I do a panel line or a destroyed kind of model or scratched up model or whatever. Is you go, oh well, but it's too, you know, it's not dirty in the right ways. It's kind of funny how that works. But basically all I did is I panel on and just washed the different areas that have a little bit of a gap in them, and then I dry brushed the silver, same as on the black. I might still go over with a darker silver, but as you can see, it's pretty sloppy in some areas, but that's I mean, it's supposed to be dirty, so you know, that's how it's supposed to go. These parts you couldn't even tell, you couldn't even see really before. I mean, they were just kind of plain, so that dirt there just is really nice. There's certain panel lines like this one here that I did not want a panel line because that would have created, there's a possibility that some of that liquid could get inside. And as you can see right here, for example, it actually starts to go in. I don't know if I'm focusing on that very well, but as you can see here, it starts to go in the actual seam line there, and you can see it really bad. I wasn't going to seam line this thing, and if you're not familiar with what that means, let me show you here. So on our dome, for example, you can see this little fine little line right here. You see that? Where they've taken the two pieces of plastic and joined it together. What you would normally do with a model is you would take those pieces apart, or before you assemble it, you glue that. You put a serious amount of glue. It basically melts the plastic together, and as you squeeze it, the glue will kind of come out of the plastic and kind of it'll kind of give it extra you know, volume here, and then you sand it down, and because it has extra volume, you're sanding down to the same surface. So once you're done, and then you've got to repaint it and everything, this is all a flat surface, and you do not see that line that you can see right there. See that line? So I wasn't going to do that. I wasn't going to put a month into this little project. I just wanted to dry brush her real quick and make her look a little bit dirty. And I think it came out great. She looks so much better just compared to that plain. You can't even see these cool details. And this is what I'm always talking about in toy collecting, is that one of the coolest parts about toys is that the molds and the creation that somebody sculpted is usually really cool. Let me see if I can get this open here. But you can't quite see them all the time, because one of the more expensive aspects of toy manufacturing is having paint jobs done. So like McFarlane does a great job usually of balancing really good sculpts with price, with also dry brushing or having kind of rough paint jobs. Sometimes like the Dune figures look really good, but their paint job is not really good. I can't get that open with my finger while I'm holding this. But anyway, they all open and stuff, and then you have these little dots here, these little parts, kind of like you do in a hexagear or a Gunpla or whatever, that you can put little arms and stuff, and then you can make her, you can make her holding you know, arms and different objects. You have the drink tray. You have all these really great accessories I'm sure you're familiar with. But so if you can take a toy like this, it has a fantastic mold, as you can see. Look at those great details. You couldn't even see these. These didn't have the little oil in there. And then you just dry brush it, just throw a little. See how it's dirty looking? It's not perfect. Like each one's not filled up exactly the amount, you know. I know people who worry about this stuff, and it's like, no, it's dirt. It's supposed to look naturally kind of rough. Now, normally I would probably chip it, meaning that you're going to take a paint that's supposed to be the bare metal or bare material, and I would put a chipping, you know, like the paint is being hit. But I'd figure in the future and in the fine sands of tattooing, as they said, it wouldn't have chips. It would have more of a very rough, like literally like sandpaper almost was taken to it. Plus, dry brush is so much faster, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's a dirty job. It's not a clean wash. It's a dirty wash. The only thing I've got left to do is put her name, which is R2-QT. I want to put it right on the side of her head. I was going to use like a Star Wars font, but I couldn't quite find one. A lot of times it's hard. There's not really a good one. So I did a little bit larger, and that's going to go there. So I've got to probably stencil that on there. And then I am going to take the silver and touch up a few little dirty areas that, yes, they're dirty and stuff, but I want to make them, don't quite want to make them that I want to, you know, just touch it up here and there or whatever. But man, she's just such a cutie. We've got the little remote here with her. Oh, and she's not on right now, by the way. You know, they spin around and stuff. I'll put a little clip of it. This is the remote, and you can see how bright white, you know, that it is. So I really want to even weather that up and just kind of have it sit near her. But we use the phone app. The phone app for these guys makes them a little bit easier to control. It's a little more finer control and stuff, so use the phone app. Just pro tip there. But I really wish I could show you what's under the dome as well. The dome underneath it has this fantastic brain area. Let me see if I can show a picture of it right around here. Has this fantastic brain area that tons of detail. So if you got the clear dome and you painted the brains underneath her, it looks so good. It would look so good. So anyway, that's my R2-QT custom astromech unit droid. I'm not sure if we're going to display her in this. I'll probably flatten that and keep her on the shelf. She's just so cool. And she's really fun. She drives around really nice. I'll show some little clips of that. But man, they do need a little bit of a wash. These things are just, they have so many cool details, but they do not, this is not a Star Wars toy unless it's a little bit beat up. Everything in the Star Wars universe has to be a little bit beat up. So have a good one, everybody. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.